All right, it's that time again, time for the Sunday video, and I'm thinking 5 critical skills that you need to know to keep you alive in the woods. Let's get to it. Last week we mentioned bringing the solo overnight videos back, but in limited quantities. So we're going to do probably 2 more of those and then crunch the data and look at the numbers. This week I'm in California with my son for the 4th of July. We're going to empty out a storage bin that I've had there for the past 4 years, and it's costing me a lot of money. I'm going to load up a van and drive it back to Ohio. Once I'm in Ohio, the beauty and benefit of this is that entire storage unit is nothing but gear, and about 85% of it is gear that I no longer use. Some is in new condition, some is in used condition. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of it and incrementally post on my Etsy page Corporals cleaning out his closet. So you guys can all reap the benefits of that once I get back to Ohio. In the meantime, let's move forward with this video. Now, what I want to do here is show 5 critical skills in no particular order. And believe me, there's way more than 5. But these are critical skills that I believe once you learn them and hone them, it's going to give you a better advantage and keep you alive in the woods. So on that note, let's get to it. So the first skill that I want to cover is basic fire making. It's not rocket science. There's plenty of ways to start a fire. However, in my opinion, there's a right and a wrong way. Far too often we see people on YouTube lighting a fire with whatever fire method they choose, whatever fire starter they decide to utilize, and use a lighter, match, ferro rod, flint and steel, dealer's choice. But as soon as that fire's going, they grab logs this big around and toss them on the fire. Then they're wafting it, lifting, waving it back and forth, blowing on it, and it's smoking, smoldering, going out, and they're wafting it again, waving all over it, and it's just ridiculous. The secret to a good fire, or a long-term fire, is in the fire lay itself. Once it burns down, you have a hot bed of coals, and then basically you're unstoppable. Now the secret to a good fire lay, as you just saw, is a collection of sticks about that big around, a nice bundle of pencil lead, pencil, finger, and thumb size sticks. So once you have a good bundle like that, get 2 more and you're in business. Whatever tinder source you decide to use, go ahead and go with that. We have some bark and a ferro rod. Once this is lit, I'm going to rotate it over, let it fully engulf, and then simply just take our sticks and roll them on top. Now that our flames are above our current fuel source, I'm going to grab my second bundle and lay it perpendicular to my first. The first ones are going this way. We're now going to lay it this way. I'm going to lay it down and open it up. So you know everything's working together with that perfect combination of fuel, oxygen, and heat when you see very little to no smoke and that nice clean burn in the circle. Now this next skill goes hand in hand with fire, and that's the proper way to disinfect drinking water while you're out in the woods. You come across a stagnant puddle or even moving water, keep in mind it's not what you can see, it's what you can't. And you want to remove or destroy the viruses, bacteria, protozoas, and parasites that are present in that water. And to do that, the number one way is to disinfect it by the use of fire and boil that water. We're going to place our bottle into the center and then simply push our coals around it. And now all my unburned sticks that are laying out here, I can take all of them and lay them into the coals and boost that fire and get those flames going. So once we get that rapid rolling boil where that water's being churned upwards like this with large bubbles, we know the water is fully disinfected and the viruses, bacteria, protozoa, parasites are eliminated or destroyed. Now, two key terms that are interchangeable, however they mean two different things. Disinfect and purify. When you disinfect something, you're going to destroy or render inert viruses, bacteria, protozoas, and parasites. When you purify something, example is filtration, you are removing viruses, bacteria, protozoa, and parasites. Now we covered fire and we covered water. The next obvious choice is shelter. You want something that's going to keep you out of the elements, like the sun, the rain, the wind, the snow. Most importantly, during the late fall and winter months, you want something that's going to either trap heat or reflect heat. And the best choice, in my opinion, for something like that is an Arcturus emergency blanket. By making a simple loop at the end of a ridgeline, by either an overhand loop or a bowline, you can wrap it around your tree, then place a bite into your loop, and it will create a pocket. Place a tent stake or stick off the ground into that pocket, and you are now secured to that tree. The best part is, this acts as a quick release. By removing that toggle, your ridgeline will drop. Gonna lay the tarp down. Right on top of that ridgeline. Gonna go to the corner. Going to make a bite and place it through the grommet. And then simply put a stick in there. So the next critical skill is being able to shoot an azimuth and walk an imaginary straight line and never deviate off of that straight line. Far too often people go in the woods for that day hike, that quick scout, or simply following a trail, and then they wander off that trail to go relieve themselves or go check out that stream down there or a creek, and they can't find their way back. And then they start walking around in circles and become ultimately lost. And in some cases, they die. So I want to show you how to walk an imaginary straight line called an azimuth. We're going to dispense with all the degrees, 25 degrees, 40 degrees, and we're going to walk a cardinal direction. To do that, we're going to use a Suunto MC2 base plate compass. Let's say, for sake of argument, we know the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So I want to walk in the direction that the sun's going to set. I have my bezel ring on my Sunto MC2. There is a plastic line or a tick mark located right here. There's also one down here. This one tells you the direction that you're going, so we want to go west. This one tells you the direction that you came from. Opposite of west is east. So now, the million-dollar question, how do we dial this in so we can walk west? All we're going to do is spin our bezel ring until the W for west is directly underneath that tick mark. We're then going to take this red portion of the needle and place it inside the hollow portion of that needle. And we do that by turning our compass. Now that the red portion is inside the hollow portion, we now know that tick mark is facing our direction of travel. West is directly underneath that tick mark, so we're walking west in this direction. Our reverse azimuth where we came from is east, that direction. So what we did on the ground, we can do leaning against a tree like this, or even standing up. I'm going to look straight down. I'm going to rotate that bezel ring to where west is directly underneath that tick mark. I'm then going to rotate my body until the red portion is centered inside the hollow portion, and now I've established west is that direction. But how do I walk the straight line? We know where we're going, but how do we guarantee we're not going to deviate like this? I'm going to simply take my index finger and thumb, place the compass around my belly button. I'm going to look down, make sure the red portion is still inside the hollow portion. I'm going to fully extend my arms. I'm going to bring it to eye level and then tilt the mirror to where I can see that reflection of the bezel ring in that mirror. Now that I can see the red portion of that needle is still inside the hollow portion, I can look through my sighting mirror, this oval right here, and pick an object out in the distance. There's a tree in that V-notch right there. I can now close my compass and walk a straight line to that tree. Once I get to the tree, wash, rinse, repeat. Red portion in the hollow portion, reflection in the mirror, look through the oval, there's my next landmark, and keep walking that straight line until I find something or I'm found. Now this last critical skill goes hand in hand with land navigation, but it also doubles for signaling. You want to have some type of bright colored cloth. This is a 3x3 cotton shamag. And we talked about using our compass to walk that straight line. Now let's say you're walking that straight line and you realize you want to stop and explore the area, or simply go and relieve yourself somewhere. You can drop your pack, pull out your shamag or bright colored t-shirt or cloth, simply tie it to a tree at eye level, then walk around. You can walk as far as the eye can see, in any direction. As long as you can turn around and see this bright colored cloth hanging from the tree and walk back to it, you're golden. Once you walk back, stuff it away, put your pack back on, reshoot in the direction you need to be, and keep walking that straight line. That's called a waypoint. And we touched on signaling. The exact same method. You can tie it to a long pole so it resembles a flag and simply wave it up and down in the middle of a field if you think you see someone, or place it in the ground and let it blow in the breeze, and you get contrast and movement. the bright colored cloth against the green foliage. It's going to stand out, and hopefully somebody will see it. And there you go, 5 critical skills that will keep you alive in the woods. And once again, I apologize for an overnighter. Again, I'm in California transporting all my old gear back to Ohio. Once we have that, I'll make the announcement and start posting it on Etsy. So speaking of Etsy, those that decided to watch, those core fans that will watch no matter what I put up, guess what? We got 50 more cup and bottle sets that just dropped to the Etsy page. So for those that refuse to watch because it's not an overnighter, you just missed out. Go to my video description box, click on my Etsy link, and good luck. 50 cup and bottle sets just dropped to my Etsy page. On that note, let's go ahead and end this bad boy off. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. One, my Amazon affiliate page, and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my description box. Now please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.